Hey, welcome back to Icarus Modding. Today I'm going to go over some of the mods I've been working on lately. One of them being the Cage Mod that you see in front of you. Uh, Basically adds a whole bunch of new building materials to be able to make these cages like this. There's a lot of new creatures and stuff that should be coming to Icarus eventually, and I've been looking at ways to possibly train them. And not all the animals have cubs or babies that you could capture, like the bear mod I did, and the buffaloes and the moas and stuff like that. So I decided to build a cage mod that allows you to cage and house animals, and so in the future possibly we'll be able to breed the animals and tame them. So I'll go over this mod first, and then I'll show you some of the changes I've made to one of my other mods with a concrete with the interior wood walls. So let me go inside here. As you can see, the floor here, this is part of the other mod I was talking about. So for the cage mod, everything is craftable on the machining bench. Once the mod's installed, you open up the machining bench, scroll all the way down, and you'll see all the cage parts. You have the iron wall, the door trigger plates, the floor or roof, depending on what you use it for, a single cage door, a full-size wall cage door, a double tall cage door for 2 stories. This would be for like mammoth-sized creatures that you want to bring in that won't fit in a single-story cage. Tall cage. This is the height of 1 full wall, so it's a little bit shorter than a standard door. And then cage beam. If you just mainly it just takes steel screws and iron. The trigger takes rope. The trigger also needs to be within about two floor places of the door in order to control it. It is compatible with every door in the game, so even the old doors, the original doors and stuff like that, it'll still control them simply by placing them down. You can see I have a few of them already crafted and in my inventory. So that's the crafting of them. They're all on the machining bench. And you can see I have a trigger set up right here. Now this trigger is a momentary one. So when you deploy the trigger, if you hold down R, it pops up the menu system. So this would be the person momentary trigger. Let me get out of there. And as you can see, it momentarily opens and closes the door. You can see the bear is stepping on the trigger, but since it's only set for a person, for momentary, only when a person steps on it. Now if you set this up in a door, when you walk in and out, it will actually open it automatically. You don't have to hold any buttons or anything. Just go right through it. This works great for mounts because it's always a pain to have to get off your mount, open a door, and then hop back on. Even though you're on a mount, you still register as a person and an animal. So if I go over to the trigger, you'll see it opens it. I walk out, it closes it behind me. If I walk back in, it opens it automatically and exits behind me. So that's just one nice function of that trigger. When you're deploying it, hold R, and that's the person momentary open door. The other features of this trigger are animals and person will trigger the doors to open. Person open door, animal open door. So if you select this one, sorry about that. only the person will trigger the door to open. If you select this one, only an animal will trigger that door to open. Then you have the exact same functions for close. So you can do an animal and a person. So either one will close the door. Person close the door or animal close the door. So those are all your options for the trigger plates. As you can see, they work with any door. This is one of the new cage doors I built. You see it has a handle there. You can see the hinge pins there coming down. There's a lot of detail put into these. And that fits a standard size door opening. It's compatible with all building places that you would normally put a door, a double door. It'll work in all of them. As with the cage, you can put standard doors, as you can see here. There's a standard door. Works with the cage system, as well as the cage doors. So the triggers in here, you'll see them drop down when I get close and step on them. They're set up for animals. So if I open all the doors and an animal was to come in here and trigger this, it would close these doors and trap the animal. You can see there's one on each side, as well as two of them in here. You have to put two of them in here because, like I said, they have to be within 2 floor spaces of the door in order to activate it. This door here is the cage door full wall. So as you can see, it's the size of a full wall, but acts as a door with a handle. And you can see it has reinforced hinges at every single crossbar there. The steel, once you craft it, it's pretty much indestructible, as you can see. Arrows do no damage to it. Animals cannot do any damage to it. The only thing that will cause damage is explosions. So if you were to shoot an explosive arrow into it, it will damage it, or throw a grenade, it will also damage it. I made it that way for obvious reasons. Is if you want to keep creatures in there, you don't want them to just destroy the walls and fall down. So this is another full-size door. Let me take these down and I'll show you how the different building options. I spent a lot of time in Unreal Engine Editor figuring out exactly how the devs built their deployable wall systems and building parts to make it the same. So all these pieces have the destructible meshes too. So when you pick them up, you can see they actually collapse and fall down. Even the ceiling pieces. The beams. Sometimes, depending on the physics, they just kind of lean a little bit. But let me go ahead and take these out too. Pick up the doors. All right. Let me go ahead and pick up this trigger too, so it doesn't interfere with the doors or anything. Let me pick this up and show you the different flooring. So for the flooring, could be the top or the bottom of the cage. So when you deploy this, if you hold R and go up, you'll see it says solid collision. If you go down, it says open collision. So the difference is, if you do open collision, so like if this is the roof of it, and select that, and then I'll do close solid collision on the next one. So if I walk over this one, you see my character doesn't bounce because it has a solid box for collision. Where this one is actually my character will bounce as he walks over it, because each hole is actually open to below. Where on this one, it's not. So when you're building your cages, you're going to want to use the solid one for the floors so animals can't get stuck in them. Because sometimes they'll come in here and they'll just sit and bounce around a little bit because of if the ground divots down too much there, then it won't, the animals' paws and stuff can get underneath there and cause issues. So that's why I came up with the two different versions. One's solid and one's not. So if I go up here, you can see this one's not solid. Where this one is, I don't bounce. There's no divot there, but this one is. So in the ones that aren't solid, the center hole is big enough for you to fall through. So if you were to just want to build a roof to where you could drop down through, you'd use the non-solid one, and you could go through, and as you can see, arrows go right through it. The arrows shot right through it. The walls are the same way. So this is a solid wall. Let me show you that. So when selecting the walls, you have solid collision, open collision. So this one to the right was solid, so I'll do this one open collision. And as you can see, you can shoot right through it. Smaller animals can go right through it. This one they cannot. So if you were to build a cage for like rabbits or bear cubs or any small animals, you'd want to use the solid ones. And again, no projectiles go through it. If you want one for like larger animals that you could possibly like set up a trap along a game path so you could shoot them and harvest the meat, then you'd obviously want a hollow one to shoot them through the mesh. You hop down here, show you some of the building options. So when you select the wall and deploy it, if you hold R, you have several different doors. So these are for the tall doors. So if you want a full height door, you can use these. There's a right and a left. You just want to make sure the arrow is pointing out when you deploy it. So there's the right one, and then you want to put the left over here. And then you could put a full door in there, and it will just snap in there. Just like that. You could also put if you put two more of these on top of this. So if you put the same thing up on top and do the right one, you'll see you have a 2-story opening here, and that's for the 2-story doors. So if you put one of the big doors there like that, you will have a cage enclosure for like a mammoth-sized creature. And you can see you can open the doors just like all the other doors in the game and close them. And the triggers will work for all of them. So if you were to put a trigger in here, any animal that walked in here and stepped on that would close that door behind them or open it if you wanted animals to be able to come and go. Made sure and put lots of options in there because I didn't know, what type of creatures might be coming out in future DLCs. So if you have like a tamed creature, obviously you want it to be able to open and close the door by itself if it needs to get out or go somewhere. If you guys haven't seen my scope bow before, precision bow. You can see it has a scope built into it. When you aim it, it gives the distance up at the top. It also gives the health of an animal in the lower right. So you can see it's 452 health. And it has the points on the left and left side with the dots. And in the lower left, you can see the type of arrow. So if you see this one goes up to 300 meters. If you were to switch the arrow type, it will actually change the distances on the right to adjust for that type of arrow. It's one of the other mods that I was working on in the last video, and I got it all finished, and it turned out really nice. So there's the double door, 2-story tall. I'll use some of the other doors. So you have a like regular style door, which is a standard door frame. Like I said, any door in the game will work on it. This usually takes a standard cage door. And again, the doors are all proper collision, so you can shoot right through them. But you could also shoot the door, and the door is made out of the same iron, so it doesn't take damage, except again from explosions. So that was that door. And then we have the standard. If you look up above, you can see you have a left and a right. And that's just like all the other building pieces in the game. And then you put standard doors, double door in there to open and close. Just like that. So I want to make sure and give plenty of options for different size creatures. I had considered doing a full double, like, let me show you. A full double like this. So you can put a full-size cage door on there. And then it would be 2 stories tall. But I don't think there's going to be too many creatures that they come up with that can jump over this. So you could technically just, even if you bring like a mammoth in here, you could just have this door open. And the mammoth would go in there and the door would close behind it, and it still wouldn't be able to get out. Worst case scenario, you could actually put another door up there also. So you have 2 different doors that you could control independently. Let me close this back up. I think that's it for the for the cage parts. The triggers do work nice. You can also see where I did this. I have the one side, the right side here, and a left side on a side wall, and then doors that close on a corner. So the whole corner of the cage opens up like that. Just some of the different variety you can do with the mod. And that's pretty much it for the cages. Like I said, I'm hoping in the future to get a tranquilizer gun, possibly. And you'll be able, if you capture an animal and shoot it with a tranquilizer gun, it'll test to see if it's in a cage. If it's in a cage, when it comes to, maybe it'll be tamed. It's just something I'm thinking about for the future with different creatures and stuff like that. Possibilities to tame animals. And then if they ever make them to where you can breed them and have offspring, then the cage models come in handy for that too. So that's the cage mod. The next mod, or the next parts I'm going to show you, are upgrades to one of my existing mod. So the mod I have out, that's the concrete with the wood interior. You can see here exactly what that is. You have a nice wood interior, and the outside is actually concrete. So no matter how you look at it from the outside, you see concrete. Has all the qualities and strength and insulation of concrete on the outside with a nice interior wood on the inside. So when placing these, let me take out a wall here. So when you place them, you have all these options, just like the concrete. There's no difference. You still craft the concrete just like you normally would, the concrete wall, except when you place it, when you hold down R, you got different options. So you can still do the concrete inside and outside, or you can do the nice wood interior on the inside. So they have the solid wall, window, door, the double wall, or the double door. So you could just put a solid wall in there just like that. And then the outside's concrete. And if you look from the inside of the window, it looks like it's all nice wood interior. And when you look from the outside, it looks like it's all concrete. You can just barely see the wood frame for the door. The second thing you see here is the flooring. So this floor here is crafted on the crafting bench. It will be a tier 2. It has all the qualities and strengths of stone with the look of interior wood. And that's crafted on the crafting bench. So if you go on the crafting bench with the mod installed, scroll all the way down, you'll see iron reinforced interior floor. You just craft that. And you can see I have a couple of them here. Hit deploy. And you can rotate it just like regular flooring. And place it down. This does have all the sockets in it for regular floors. So like you can put a fireplace on top of it. You can snap the ladders to it. The railings will snap. I don't have any railings, but the railings will snap all the way around it, just like regular flooring. The cage floor pieces do not have those sockets in them. So obviously you cannot put a big fireplace or railings and stuff like that on top of these, because they just weren't designed for that. If there is requests to add railing support, I can add those sockets in a patch that would allow you to put railings around the outside perimeter of them. You can still put them, they just won't snap like they do with the other pieces, but you could still line them up by yourself. If you look at the underneath side of them, let's see if I can get up there. Hop up here. You can kind of see the underside of it. There we go. Has nice thick iron frame with a nice wood interior in it. It's just something to help you out in the beginning with crafting. So again, this is crafted on the crafting bench, and it requires iron ingots, refined wood, and iron nails. Another item I added to this mod is the short post. I really like how they got the half walls. I was doing a nice interior build a while back, and I used these to keep the animals penned up, and I didn't like the posts going all the way up, so I decided to make a little half post. And these are just like all the other posts. When you put it in, it's the regular post. You hold R for the interior posts, and then you select the upper right and place it. It gives it a nice little look. If you have like several of these and then put these every couple, it looks really sharp. Or you can put them on ends, kind of like this is here. And again, you can see I have the flooring in here, the reinforced floor, and outside also. And you can see how the railings snap right to it. I'll pick up a railing and place it back down. It snaps right to it. It has all the same sockets that a regular flooring does, and you can see it matches nicely. The reinforced railing with the reinforced floor. I was actually kind of shocked that they didn't put this in the game to begin with, but now it's in there. That's pretty much it for now. The cage turned out really nice. I figured out a lot as far as the building pieces, so it wouldn't take much going forward to create all new building pieces out of basically anything I wanted to. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for future content and mods coming your way. Thank you.